of bitches edition. Rolodex 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 of bitches edition. So I'm about to hit my 30s and never really had an issue with the friend zone before. Sure, there were women I wanted to hit up that never ended up happening, but I never truly took it to heart. This one girl recently has me shook. We started hanging out probably a year ago, chilling more frequently in the beginning. She has a BF, although HES a waste of skin. I never tried though because that. She is one of those girls who loves to flirt or hoe, and it got to the point where I had to confess my feelings for her, and she tells me she likes me too. Fast forward to a couple weeks back, I can't deal with being friends and the flirting anymore. I confront her about the whole situation, just broke up with her ex a couple weeks before. I'm still in love with him, can we still be friends? Now she's barely talking to me and I'm actually a tad heartbroken over this girl I never even dated. I've probably only liked one girl more than her. I know I'll get over this eventually, but what the F asterisk is wrong with me? This kinda S asterisk makes me want to stay single. You're a F asterisk-ing simp. Get your S asterisk together. I figured I just had a lot of feelings for her, but I think you're right. How'd I unsimp without hating women? Hating women is integral to ascending. As long as you still see them as equals, you're never gonna make it by default. Hate every new woman you encounter. Why? She already hates you. If you're not Chad, she has presumed you to be a serial killer, rapist, misogynist incel. So it's automatically fair to hate him in return. Use them as holes to F asterisk and nothing more. In the history of mankind, no woman has ever added anything of worth to a man's life outside of sex. You're a king and she is a filthy peasant. W asterisk. Preserve this dynamic and you'll ascend. The Bible warns us of simping. Adam was the first simp, and he ruined all of mankind because of it. Treat these trollops like Eve tempting you to corrupt humanity, and then you'll be on the correct path. Quote, everyone thinks you're an incel, so you should be an incel. The post. Quote, Reddit spacing. Stop being pathetic. I should know too that she said some pretty explicit stuff to me before that she had to stop herself from cheating with me essentially. I asked a girl if she wants to hang out after quarantine is over. She said sure and sent me an okay emoji. We sat next to each other in CLS asterisk and talked a lot before everything happened. She's a really shy girl. She has horses and likes outdoorsy stuff and lives out of town. I can't drive, I'm just a spurgy politics history buff. I've never not been rejected. Do you think she likes me? Also, I'm a senior, I'm 18, and she's a grade below me. I'm going to go study poli-sci on the other side of the country next year, but I'll come back throughout the year. I'm going kind of loopy des. What do I do to get into a relationship with her? Also, how do I stop thinking about this so much? Quote, going after a horse girl and no. She's really cute. She told me she found a notebook in the woods and she was drawing on the cover in CLS asterisk. She taught me how to fold paper swans. Can you zoom as F asterisk off back to TikTok? I've been on this place since 2014. Quote, Unironic 14 yo gamer gate F asterisk kill yourself. Quote, also how do I stop thinking about this so much? Get several other things to do, ideally with other people. I know it's hard with quarantine but still try. Also yes, she likes you now. Does she know you don't really share many interests? Quote, 28 yo, mildly autistic, diagnosed S asterisk, burger, medium looks at best, 4 on a bad day, 7 maybe on a great day, dropped out of uni, doing volunteering work while getting gigs. All the things I like to do are basically solo activities. How am I even supposed to meet a girl, especially since I feel like I'm getting to the age of 28 yo KHV. Must be something wrong with him if tried dating apps and can manage to get a match every now and then, but conversations often quickly die off since I feel like I can't get a good conversation going beyond basic interest. Are you Chad? No, give up trying. I thought Elliot Rogers and heroed. How are you here from the afterlife? Elliot spirit lives on in every incel. Every time I'm mistaken for a girl or just told something is feminine about me, it destroys my day. The reason I'm asking this stuff is that usually I'm minimally proficient at working out what's going on inside other people, but this one was kind of in a blind spot apparently, so I'm trying to fix that. Generally there's some sort of logic, or if not something rational, then at least some sort of causal chain that lets me understand emotions. So I'm just trying to learn what specifically causes people to feel bad in situations like this. Think of it this way: if you put a lot of effort into drawing a picture of a cat and someone looked at it and said, "Hey, nice dog," would you be happy? You may not have a problem with dogs, or even cats that look kinda like dogs, but that drawing was intended to be a cat and you put work into trying to make it look like a cat. That misunderstanding might imply that your drawing isn't good enough to be recognizable as a cat. You might feel like your artistic talent is being questioned. That's basically the crux of it. It's not that there's anything wrong with being androgynous or masculine, but just because it's not inherently wrong doesn't mean people will appreciate being called that, especially if they're trying to present themselves as feminine. That seems backwards to me, but noted. People are often backwards. Thanks for explaining, everyone. Quote, looking like a boy doesn't preclude beauty. And vice versa. No one is saying that looking like a boy doesn't preclude femininity. This, however, is very much the case. Men look like men unless they either are actively trying to look more feminine or have some kind of hormone disorder or other issue. Women look like women unless they either are actively trying to look more masculine or have some kind of hormone disorder or other issue. Even if they prefer boyish if female or feminine if male aesthetic, they will look like the gender they actually are. Unless they go to great lengths to look fully androgynous or like the opposite sex, which the vast majority of people do not, ergo it is a direct and personal insult. You have a mannish face. I cannot tell if you are male or female due to it, when in all other ways that the woman presents herself, she is actively showing you she is a female. With her dress, with her hair, with any makeup she applies, even with typical secondary sex characteristics, she is saying loud and clear, "I am female." The only people this might not offend are people who are actively going very far in the opposite direction, to try to portray themselves as *nothing else, and could therefore take it as a point of pride. Quote, men look like men, women look like women. That seems too reductive to me. There's definitely more of a grey area than that. Especially here in Bergiston, where fat tends to conceal dimorphism. Anyways, I was probably having trouble seeing the insult because I was pretty much only picturing people like people who are actively going very far in the opposite direction, to try to portray themselves as *nothing else. If someone was presenting unambiguously femme, I would definitely see the insult in treating them like a boy. Of course there's grey areas, that's how you get this scenario in the first place. But even if we take for instance a tomboy, a pixie cut is an unmistakably androgynous but still definitively feminine hairstyle. Wearing baggy jeans and t-shirts can be seen as dressing in a masculine manner, but there is still obvious secondary sex characteristics: hips, breasts, the way one's face looks, and even more subtle chosen ways to differentiate herself from men, perhaps the colors she chooses to wear being brighter or more whimsical than a man might pick. You can go on and on about all different ways one can still be subtly and clearly articulating "I am female" or "I am male," even if they choose to downplay the difference, or even if the choice is taken partly away from them due to biological matters. However, only a fringe minority of people are willing to or want to go so far with this that they truly become difficult to tell apart from the opposite sex, and this is what the point I'm trying to get at is, for the vast majority of people, it is a matter of great offense. For those deliberately playing with it, it likely will not be. But those who would do that are the minority, and those who would do that to a lesser extent, growing your hair out or cutting it short, still are indicating to the world the gender somewhat. Quote, that seems backwards to me, but noted. People are often backwards. Backwards in what sense? If you mock me for something I can change, I change it. Or laugh at you for your taste if it's something I actively decided and enjoy. If you mock something I can't change, I get frustrated because I no longer have control. It's exactly like calling a trans woman a dude. IDK, I would think things you can't control should be the first thing you cross off of your list of things to waste time, energy caring about. Obviously, emotions are hard to control, so I feel like being misgendered as a trans person is basically like being called a slur as a minority. It's not really bringing up a flaw you have, but rather the aggressor saying they view you as *human, which is a different kind of feel bad, I think, and is ultimately a defect on the part, not the victims. But I can see the connection. Quote, though I'm having no control over them should make it easier to get over them, it's pretty much always the opposite. The things that people can't control are what upset him the most deep down. That seems backwards to me, but noted. People are often backwards. Thanks for explaining, everyone. Quote, of course, androgyny isn't a flaw. People who actively pursue androgyny are happy with that. People who are actively dressing feminine or masculine ways don't want to be perceived that way. It's a choice, and they're telegraphing with their appearance loud and clear whether or not they want to be identified that way. The jaw shape what is started with is not a choice they can make. Being bullied or mocked or made to feel less than for a thing they cannot change is particularly cruel. While that was not the original poster's intention, that is the effect it is likely to have. Do not ever comment in a way that is not positive about a facet of appearance that someone did not actively choose. It's that simple. They already are well aware of how it looks and either self-conscious of it or actually enjoy it. Either way, the comments will not be welcome. That seems backwards to me, but noted. People are often backwards. Thanks for explaining, everyone. Of course, because it's an insult. I can't tell if you're a male or female at best, and you look effeminate, mannish at worst. It plays on any and all insecurities they have about their bodies and their looks. Things they have no control over, and either may well feel bad about already, have been inadvertently taught they ought to feel bad about already, by people like parents, friends, or exes, or something that is not something they are insecure about and stands to create a new insecurity in them. Since he used the term cis, he's probably gay. I have to *me. It's easy for some of them to accept they're not ordinarily masculine. Well, assuming that's the case, then it's imp as this jaw shape, moves, and a variety of other physical features are not ones that people have any control over. Not unless they're willing to have cosmetic surgery. They cannot change these things. How someone dresses is a conscious choice, and they can choose to look as masculine or effeminate as they want regarding that. If they're deliberately going for a certain look, of course it is not offensive to notice that they want to be seen that way. The minute they're not, then it is no longer their choice and you're making them feel insecure about things that they cannot change without undergoing completely elective surgery. It's saying your body is never going to be good enough no matter what you do. That's a pretty *tie way to feel. The reason I'm asking this stuff is that usually I'm minimally proficient at working out what's going on inside other people, but this one was kind of in a blind spot apparently, so I'm trying to fix that. Generally there's some sort of logic, or if not something rational, then at least some sort of causal chain that lets me understand emotions. So I'm just trying to learn what specifically causes people to feel bad in situations like this. The reason I'm asking this stuff is that usually I'm minimally proficient at working out what's going on inside other people, but this one was kind of in a blind spot apparently, so I'm trying to fix that. Generally there's some sort of logic, or if not something rational, then at least some sort of causal chain that lets me understand emotions. So I'm just trying to learn what specifically causes people to feel bad in situations like this. The reason I'm asking this stuff is that usually I'm minimally proficient at working out what's going on inside other people, but this one was kind of in a blind spot apparently, so I'm trying to fix that. Generally there's some sort of logic, or if not something rational, then at least some sort of causal chain that lets me understand emotions. So I'm just trying to learn what specifically causes people to feel bad in situations like this. Maybe you should work on your empathy. People respond to things in different ways. It's not unreasonable to be sensitive to other people's feelings. I had long hair for a while and occasionally got mistaken for a girl in public sometimes. It didn't bother me, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't bother others. Especially in the context of a dating site where appearance is everything. The reason I'm asking this stuff is that usually I'm minimally proficient at working out what's going on inside other people, but this one was kind of in a blind spot apparently, so I'm trying to fix that. Generally there's some sort of logic, or if not something rational, then at least some sort of causal chain that lets me understand emotions. So I'm just trying to learn what specifically causes people to feel bad in situations like this. Of course. Femanans, how many sexual partners have you had and what's your age? You don't have to explain **, it's just for comparison purposes.